I'm here with Jonathan Brown. Hi.
Hello, good to see you.
Yes.
Thanks
again.
for coming.
Yes. Who I've met recently. In fact,
Yeah.
we met at the New Writing South Best New Play Award ceremony, didn't we? At
That's a
Hendricks,
mouthful.
it
You
is.
didn't stumble at all, yeah?
No, I read it. That's
Well done.
okay. Yeah, it's on my knee there. Yeah, so that was the award, the ceremony for the Brighton Fringe 2012,
Yep.
and you won.
We did. Joint winners.
Joint winners,
Yeah.
yes.
Alongside Feral Theatre with their show Triptych, which I didn't see, but one of our cast members is a very good friend of one of the writers and directors of that show. But yes, we did. We won alongside them.
So was that a surprise?
It was a complete
It was, yeah.
surprise. I felt, I suppose I felt secretly confident that we'd get into the shortlist, but then I saw how short the shortlist was, and then I thought, oh, that was good that we got into the shortlist, because actually I thought that the shortlist would be, I don't know, 10 plays or something like that, but there's only 5, and then I started to hear about what those other plays were, and I thought, oh. So I felt very very honoured to be, amongst that group, and then it was a complete surprise, partly because of the way it was announced. I was a bit confused for 5 minutes as to whether a winning had actually occurred.
Well, we have it on tape if you need to see it.
Oh good, right, yes please.
If you want to relive the moment.
I would. That sort of looking left to right moment of, has something happened?
And so I understand that you're going to have, rather than a monetary award this year, it's a development. They're going to work with you?
Apparently.
Is that right?
Yeah. I wasn't aware of any monetary award anyway, so it was a nice surprise to hear that there was anything other than, a cruise to Barbados, which apparently they've cancelled. But yes, development help with New Writing South, I understand. So they'll have what form that'll take, I don't know yet. They've not clarified.
Are you familiar with them as an organisation?
I have been a member of New Writing South. I'm not a member at the moment.
I think you probably automatically get membership now.
Oh, good. I get co-opted in or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yes, they very kindly gave me a bursary a couple of years ago onto a playwriting course, and where I wrote a play which was almost entirely unusable. Nothing to do with them. It was just my own. I didn't get anything quite going on that occasion.
All right. And this isn't your first time at the Fringe, is it? The Brighton Fringe?
No. 2007 was the first time there, and 2006 at the Edinburgh Fringe. So yeah, 2007 was first Brighton Fringe. And I was nominated Best Male Performer at the Brighton Fringe 2007, which was really nice. And that's a little nomination award type thing that I've been dragging around with me for the last 5 years, sort of waving it a bit on my publicity.
Yes, I've noticed it.
Trying to get more people along.
We could add this one to it now.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's
nice to have something a bit more up to date, because
yeah.
it started to leave off the 2007 bit more recent years, because it looks a bit more like a has-been, really. I'm still here.
Yeah. So the award this year was for your play The Last Lunch.
That's right.
Which you wrote and directed and performed in.
Yep.
So tell us a bit about it.
The Last Lunch is a play about my own response to my experience of moving from a meat-eating life to a vegan life, really, I suppose, and something to do with the feelings and experiences I've had during that journey, and what I've observed since starting that journey. Whilst on it, and having spent time on farms and having done research into various practices within the food industry, and wanting to respond to those experiences, but also wanted to make a play that wasn't just some sort of vegan rant or table thumping idealism. Wanted something that was funny, entertaining, had plot, characters, and so I thought, okay, well, how about we make it a traditional butcher father with vegan son, and that was where it started, really. And everyone comes around for lunch, and all hell breaks loose, really. I think you came to see it, so you did come to see
yes.
it, so yeah.
Yes, thank you. We came to see it, yes.
You're very welcome. You can tell them all about it then.
Well, I mean, I can actually quote here from what was said at the ceremony about it. I wrote
I'd
down,
like to hear that quote.
it said, a very dark black comedy, horribly involved with the meat industry. Well managed, well acted, with a very funny, sharp script, to say nothing of the poignant and disturbing message.
Yeah. It's funny because you're the second person, or they are the second people to have described it as a comedy. But although it has a lot of comic elements, I suppose in the Shakespearean sense of the word, it is a comedy. Although the ending is not comic. I mean, let's see it as a comic ending. So it's not in that form at all, and I wouldn't describe it as a comedy either. Although it's
no, it has. I'd say
it's quite filled with lines which are comic, but
it has the moments of relief in the comedy,
yes,
to relieve the tension, because I found watching it myself that I was I've lost the word now,
intense,
quite apprehensive and uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because I knew something was going to happen.
Yes.
And it did.
Don't say what. We were talking about whether it was a comedy or not, and
yeah, I mean, it's been described as a black comedy,
yeah,
which I think is the way people describe a comedy that's probably not black. No, it's got a dark, much more sinister side to it.
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't call it a comedy, but I guess I call it a play. But I suppose in many ways, it being described as a comedy can help it to be more accessible, and in that I think people tend to be drawn more to comedies than they are to plays.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying comedy isn't a play, but I mean, people often say comedy is it's not going to be. I'm not going to have to deal with too much there. It's going to be light-hearted romp, and.
But then black comedy would imply it's probably not a light-hearted romp.
No.
I've always thought.
No, right? Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Because it wasn't.
No. It wasn't. It's light-hearted at times.
Yes.
Light-livered, and anyway.
So also, I was just going to say that. You've now got a theatre company, something underground?
Yeah, it makes it sound like I've got a new Volvo.
New Volvo, no, we've got a very old Volvo, but extremely old.
I've got a new theatre company.
No, I mean, were you on your previous adventures in the Fringe? Yeah.
Yeah, one-person shows mostly in the Fringe. So this is the first time I've tried to gather under my own steam a company together and finance it, direct it, produce it, and so forth. So yeah, first outing for this new umbrella. Yeah, something underground theatre company. I was going to call it underground theatre company, but there's underground theatre in Eastbourne, which I didn't want to be confused with. I won't say why, but I didn't want to be confused.
I'll be going and looking that one up now then.
Yeah. And but also, Google searches or whatever, I didn't want to be confused with that. So I rang up a friend and said, I want this idea of underground because I like to, I like my work which is slightly subversive, slightly underground, and in how it works. And he said, what about, if you chose a word so it could be something underground? And it's not a particularly interesting story about how they came about. But I said, ooh, like that.
Right.
Just like that. I went, ooh. And he said, no, don't do that. I said, no, I'm going to do it. So, anyway, there we are. That's how.
Right. And you're taking it on the road? Or elsewhere?
Screwed up your face there as you said, on the road?
Sorry, the sun's in my eyes
right.
now. You're taking it on the road?
Yeah, we're taking it on the road. Yes. Yeah, we have. We've already done Lewis and Arundel, just to sort of warm it up for the Fringe, their sort of preview performances, and they helped us to get it into shape. And now we're going to take it to Eastbourne, not the Underground Theatre, this coming Friday, a couple of days, and then we're going to go over to Glastonbury Bridgewater Art Centre, which is the oldest art centre in the country. Glastonbury, I used to live there, so I've got sort of contacts there, and then we're going to go on to Barnstaple Fringe, which is a 4-day Fringe festival of theatre, and then we've got a showing in the London West End, which is really, really nice.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And then ... We're just, I don't know, we'll sort of get this done and then try and wave our best play in front of some venue managers and see if they go, really? We'll book you. Or not.
Or not, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we will.
Hopefully so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I have to say it was very good.
Thank you. Thank you. It's not, you know, it's a bit off the beaten track, I suppose, for a lot of venue managers who are trying to get bums on seats, and I'm not sure if some of the more mainstream places are going to go for it, but
no, I think it's very good, very well acted, and really gets you thinking.
Where did the idea of the the multiple scenes kind of in one come from? Is that been done before, or was that your idea?
It probably has been done before, the multiple scenes, but I hadn't seen it, and I honestly don't remember where I got it from. I just started trying it. It's something, I work with another theatre company called Touch and Go Theatre, and it's something we've done. We do improvised theatre, so we literally make it up as we go along, and we have 3 actors on stage, and sometimes we try this thing where each of us starts to create a story, and these 3 separate stories just go along side by side, invariably completely unrelated. But what we do is, whilst we're telling our story, we listen, we intersperse, and we listen to each other, and so there's bleed over between our stories, and then when we get it right, we get the stories somehow to converge, and then they sort of go off again. And when it works really well, especially with improvised theatre, it's incredibly beautiful. That just moment of bringing it together like that. So I thought it'd be nice to that may be where I originally thought of doing it, where I got that idea from.
It's so difficult for the actors to carry off. They did it perfectly, didn't they? I mean, it must have taken lots of rehearsal.
It did, yeah, 2 months, and really worked hard. I think when they first looked at the script, a lot of them were very. I had loads of people audition. I contacted loads of people. That loads belongs to how many people I contacted. I auditioned a lot of people, and many people just couldn't really. They just looked at it and thought, this is either beyond me, or they weren't interested in the content. And then of the people who auditioned, there was, you could sort of tell who had the energy to really get to grips with that complex structure. I didn't know if it was doable because I'd never done it before, never asked a cast to do it before either, so I actually didn't know if it was doable, and they've done it, so I'm really, really happy they've done it, and it's amazing. It's lovely to see it finished. And
I think it worked very well.
Yeah,
it was good use of the space that you had as well. I wouldn't say stage because it wasn't actually a stage, was it? No. It was a floor.
Yeah. Well, the old courtroom, it was a floor.
Because it wasn't a massive.
No, it was quite narrow front to back and quite wide. So it's a bit like we had to be Egyptian in our movements almost. And
we were sitting right at the front, so we felt like we were almost in the play.
Good. Did you get any casserole on you as the when the casserole moments happened?
No, I think it just avoided us.
Good.
Yes.
And I tried to keep the staging very simple, simply because the text is so complex. I thought if I also overload the because there's so many characters as well, 10 characters. If we made the staging quite complex as well, because our last piece I did was with a cast of 7 with a lot of complex physical theatre. I thought if I make the staging complex, it's just going to be too complicated for the audience to handle. I think they had enough on their plate as it was to listen to all these different conversations going on.
Yeah, and I think that worked because then your eyes were drawn from one, character's
tennis
talking to another, and it worked in that way.
Good.
I think, if there'd been other scenery and things, it probably would have been a bit more distracting. To the point that you got so used to watching several that when it went to the point where there's only the 2 people on the stage at one
Yes.
point, it seemed a bit odd.
Yes. Yeah.
You're thinking, where are the other people?
Yeah. We were hiding down the side, like little mice. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much,
You're welcome.
Jonathan.
Thanks for coming
and
all this way.
good luck for the future.
Thank you.
We'll be keeping an eye on you
What camera?
with the camera.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely to see you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Right.